Scientology runs and exists due to the slave labor of Sea Org members. A lot of them second generation, born into it, third generation. Sea Org members sign a pledge to slave for the church for 1 billion years. They live on campus, they never get a day off, they rarely get annual leave. They're literally human trafficked. These Sea Org members often want out. A huge amount leave within 10 years. But more and more, some will stay 20 years, some leave in 5 years. When they leave, these Sea Org members used to be given a freeloader bill.
What is a freeloader bill?
A bill for every study course and auditing they ever did in the church. Ludicrous. You're leaving? Give us $180,000. Give us $90,000. Give us $144,000. And they literally bill every session you ever had in the church. Even if it was an Office of Special Affairs interrogation check for intelligence purposes, you now have to pay them for that in a freeloader bill, believe it or not. The freeloaded bill is a thing of the past. As the internet disclosed more and more of their dirty little secrets, they softened up on freeloaders and gave a thank you of $500. Severance pay for slaving 10, 15, 20. $500. Now, to hell with $500, they're given hush money to not say what went on inside. Why would you even have to sign all these? If you didn't have dirty little secrets, why are you being paid to shut up? It's because you eyewitnessed all the things you hear, the horror stories you hear. They saw it, they witnessed it. So they're now given hush money from $10,000 to $150,000. Some people are paid twice a year, like Angie Blankenship. She was in charge of the SB Hole. She was in SB Holy. She endured SB Hole. But she was a right-hand execution arm for Miscavige. So she gets about $50,000 every 6 months as long as she's quiet. And she won't get the next $50,000 check if she quacks. Imagine a church whose main expense is lawyers, PRs, buying buildings, and hush money. What is that? What is that? Telling people, you're taking money, this is a contract. If you say anything, you will pay us $50,000 for each breach of contract. See, what people don't know is these bogus contracts would never stand up in court. A Sea Org member would say, like Debbie Cook did, I would have signed anything. I would have signed that I tortured babies just to get out of there. So all this signing is all done under by the time a Sea Org member wants out, they want out. They want to get out of there. So now it's hush money. Even a lowly person, for example, the mecca of technical perfection, the Flag Land Base, went rogue and really criminal, using up credit people had on account, and without their permission, sending them basics by the truckload. And people refused this. That was their money for counseling, and boxes arrived. 10 sets, 5 sets. So they shipped them back. And so many came back to Flag, to Clearwater, that they had to rent a warehouse for the returns of these basics. So a guy who witnessed pallet after pallet of the return of basics, he doesn't know the deep, dirty, dark secrets of in-base. All he saw was hundreds of sets of basics being kicked out of the door and returned to flag, returned to sender. Now, that may seem innocuous, but when you connect the dots, you realize flag in an unauthorized criminal manner was using people's credit cards that they had on file and their advance payments to ship them basics with no authorization.
And this is why they have to pay Sea Org members hush money when they leave.
Hush money. Sea Org members witnessed 18-wheeler after 18-wheeler coming to flag to return basics that were never ordered in the first place. But underlying that is the criminal activity. And because Office of Special Affairs doesn't want even people who didn't know in-base dirty secrets, just flag dirty secrets, could say something like, oh yeah, I was involved in renting the warehouse. I was involved in... Do you see how so much could be known even if you were lowly? So everybody, after being penniless and being made to slave for no money, they'd offer $10,000 to go start. They'll take the $10,000 and sign. Times have changed. There was a time where flag threatened you, gouged you, and forced you to pay them for leaving staff and training on innocuous courses that meant nothing in the outside world. They pretended value and assigned $9,000 for this. We trained you on how to use a 3-com in-basket. We trained you to be a staff member to do your daily track. We trained you $10,000. You left us paid. That went to, okay, we just don't want you to become an indie now. Please don't go posting on Mike Rinder's blog or Marty's blog. Or please don't go visit Tony Ortega. We'll pay you. We'll be nice to you. Now, you can get a few $1,000s. And if you're thinking of leaving flag and a relative talks to you, hey, demand high 6 figures. You know what? They'll pay it.
When the history of this planet is finally told, it will be a tale of a determined few who rose up against overwhelming odds and stood firm for the rights of man. It will be a tale of exalted triumph that forever changed the destiny of Earth.
In prisons where we now restore self-respect among those who've gone astray every 38 minutes. In rehab centers where we now salvage and educate to cut drug use every 60 seconds. In classrooms where we now bring the gift of learning and literacy to students every 10 seconds. And so it goes with LRH social betterment technology in hand and one-on-one to no less than 4 million people in the last year alone.
I witnessed Mr. Miscavige physically punching in the face and wrestling to the ground another very senior executive at Scientology international level.
In this way, we activate the multitudes with mass mailings. All in turn is flanked with PSA airplay and print ads for broad saturation, whereupon psychs are jailed, their institutions shut down, and their treatments and profession legislated out of existence. And so comes one of those hallelujah moments when the masses arise up and rain down godly fire on the enemies of man under a banner that reads, Psychiatry, Global Extinction.
Mr. Miscavige briefed me about it and explained that that he had put about 40 executives of Scientology International into, basically locked up into a room called the Hole. And he took me there personally and showed me.
When you were in Los Angeles with Mr. Gannon Nelson, what happened that you observed?
Okay, he was, he originated that he did not agree with physical beatings or this room, this locked up, these executives being locked up. And for this he was beaten up by Mr. Miscavige's assistant. Her title is a communicator. And he was also beaten up by two other guys that were there in a meeting with us, which was Henning, I can't remember Henning's last name, and Francois de Juste. They were two pretty big guys, and he was actually taken back into a room, and he was beaten up physically for a couple hours.